welcome to the breakfast show on Faith FM with Skafy and Elliot. This is the best place to start your day with positive and uplifting thoughts.
You're listening all across Australia on 87.6, 87.8 or 88 depending on where you are, or you can listen to us through the Faith FM app anywhere in the world.
And today, if you are listening live, it's Monday the 18th of May. I have in the studio with me my mate Elliot. Good morning to you, Elliot.
Good morning, Skafy.
And we also have producer Shell sitting at the desk. Good morning to you, producer Shell.
Great one. Yeah, I'm excited.
I'm excited as well. Well, let's start with our words of gratitude today. I am grateful for Vivaldi's Four Seasons. I went with my family on the weekend. We watched a presentation, and it was absolutely beautiful. I did not know that a lot of Vivaldi's Four Seasons that we listen to, it's actually he's creating sounds with a violin that represent the four seasons. So there's the sound of the wind, the people, their mouths opening and closing, and their teeth, kind of shattering because of the cold. And then I think in the summer or the autumn one, there's like the sounds of dogs and of birds and animals. It's very onomatopoeic. I want to use this word. And one of the cool things is that one of the violinists, his violin was a piece from 1730. Wow. So he might as well have played the Four Seasons as it was
That's almost
written.
300 years old.
Basically 300 years old instrument.
Wow.
And it was quite something to see.
Yeah.
I mean, the man even saw himself as the custodian of the instrument, because the instrument is going to outlast his life.
Yeah.
As it has outlasted the lives of, 300 years. Like how many, at least 10, 20 generations of musicians.
Yeah, that's incredible.
Yeah.
That is incredible.
What about you, my friend? So I'm very grateful for having experienced that, listening to good music and, listening to people that are quite exquisite artists.
Yeah. Well, on the topic of music, actually, I had a concert that I went to on Saturday.
And how was it?
In Waitara Church. It was fantastic. It was so lovely. The purpose of the concert was actually to fundraise a mission trip to Papua New Guinea. And all the people that were there were just incredible musicians. And there were so many just wonderful special items that sounded amazing. I was like, wow, this is
incredible.
Great. So that was fantastic. The other thing that I'm actually very happy and thankful for is that yesterday I did my motorbike P's test and I passed.
Yay! Congratulations.
Yippee.
So are you in your green P's now?
Red P's.
Red P's.
And then, because you have to, excuse me, you have to do this whole process of doing all these activities and whatnot, and then you got this final competency test you have to do, and if you pass that, then you can go get your red P's. And then from there.
So did you have to do laps on that motor globe? The globe
no.
of death? How do you call that thing that big round jail that you just
people would just circle around it? No,
circling?
I did not have to do that, thankfully, because if I did, I'd be pretty worried.
Yeah, it was easy then. Easy peasy. Producer Shah, what about you? What are you grateful for?
I am grateful for weekend showers.
Weekend showers, like weekend long showers. You enter the shower on a Friday and
That's
you leave on a
right.
Sunday.
That's right. No, I just, during the week, my showers are like 2 minutes. Get in there, get it done. Boom, 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 boom.
Yes.
Gotta try to make it happen as quick as possible so I can get to work. But weekends,
I can just
love my
enjoy.
showers.
Yeah. Well, that's fair enough. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes, something you can do. We take your time. You just enjoy the water falling on your head.
That's what I love about going to hotels is it's like I'm not paying for the water bill. So I'll just have as long a shower as I can enjoy,
Yep.
Yeah.
It's great.
I rate my hotel experience on the shower quality.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
shower pressure. Oh, man, when you get a high-pressure shower, it's like, this is
yes.
the best.
High pressure shower is the best thing. Right?
Yeah.
Oh, man, there you go.
Nice. And what about you, listening friend? What are you grateful for? Text us here to 0491 064 Tell us what was anything exciting in the weekend. I'm sure there was something that you were grateful for, so we can grateful for your gratitude.
Yeah.
In today's show, we are going to talk about a classic story in the Bible. We're going to start the story of Naaman.
Oh, okay.
And it's going to be an interesting ride, that one. In our news segment, we're going to have an interview with Justin Lohman today. Yes, he is going to talk to us, and he's going to be sharing with us what did Donald Trump do in China and everything that has happened around the world in the past week that we should be paying attention to.
Yeah.
I'm also going to be talking about a grandpa that was fined $900 for preaching John chapter 3, verse 16.
Wow. That's a lot to be fined.
We are going to be talking about and getting to know about his story. And Elliot is going to be sharing with us how to live longer or how to not grow old so fast.
Yeah,
He's going
slow
to
your
have
aging.
some very interesting tips here for us.
You're listening to the Breakfast Show podcast on Faith FM. Positively different.
With Skafy and Elliot and producer Shell. And it is time for our first quiz question of the week, because it's the first episode of the week today. So,
That's right.
producer Shell, what is the first quiz question for us today?
Which disciple is called the disciple whom Jesus loved?
Ooh.
Which disciple is called the disciple whom Jesus loved? You can text us in what you think the answer is, 0491 064 669. And we have two correct answers in
good.
the studio room here. And Elliot was quick on that one.
Yeah, I feel
Well
like
done.
this was a slow, nice build
Nice
up.
start to the week?
Nice start to the
Okay.
week. You know? Nothing too crazy for me.
Good. That question one last time. Which disciple is called the disciple whom Jesus loved? 0491 064 669. And we got a grateful that came through.
We did. From Sherry, it says, I'm grateful for Monday mornings and the breakfast show. Blessings, Sherry.
Oh, thank you very much, Sherry. We're grateful for you
Yeah.
and for all of you listening, friends. We are very excited to be spending this morning with you. Now, I must say before we start our program here that the city that we are praying for today is Naples in Italy. Is that right, Elliot?
That is correct.
What was the weather over there again?
17 degrees and clear,
Okay, so it's actually very similar to what we're having here now.
except for maybe a bit clearer than what we have now. I think it's a bit,
I mean, just it's a bit dark yet.
yeah.
Yeah, not super
But it's
clear.
pretty overcast
Yeah, it's
here.
overcast.
Yeah.
It's overcast, right? Oh, let me tell you one thing. Naples is the capital and the birthplace of my favorite food, pizza.
Indeed it is.
I've been to Naples myself.
Yeah, I've been there too.
Have you been there too?
Scary roads. That's all I have to say.
Look, I did not pay too much attention on the dangers because I was just thinking about the pizza when I went there. And let me just tell you one thing. The first pizzeria in the world was open in 1830. And it's still
Wow.
open today in Naples. You can still go there.
That's
Ooh,
awesome.
the same one.
The
It's still
same
open.
one is still open. The first
Aw,
pizzeria
man,
in the
I wish I
world.
would have known that.
There's
Yeah.
another curiosity there. There's a castle. They have three castles in the Naples area. One of the castles is called the Egg Castle.
Okay.
And it's called the Egg Castle because there is a legend that says that there is a magical egg buried in the foundation of that castle.
Wow.
So the castle
That's
is
unique.
actually built around a
It's built
magical
entirely
egg.
around. Wow. Okay, there you go.
And it said that if that magical egg breaks, then the whole city is doomed.
Ooh.
Yes.
But no one actually knows whether there's an egg that's there or not. It's just
No, just
It's
a
just
myth.
a
Yeah,
myth.
just a myth. Yeah, and it's probably there's no such a thing as a, as a magical
Magical
egg
egg.
that can sustain the weight of a
Yeah.
castle, but it's still called the egg castle.
I don't know. I mean, eggs are pretty interesting. If you put pressure on them from the top, they can actually withhold a lot of weight. So maybe there is. I still doubt it though.
Yeah,
I don't
look,
think there's a whole castle
yeah,
that can
no,
hold it.
yes,
be held by an egg.
And the other interesting thing they had, they call the miracle of San Gennaro. So that's a big one for
Okay.
a Catholic tradition. 3 times a year, thousands of pilgrims gather in the Cathedral of San Gennaro to witness the miracle, quote unquote, where the dried blood of their patron Saint San Gennaro supposedly liquefies.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
So, people go there 3 times a year to watch that phenomenon.
Yeah.
I don't know if if anything happens or not, but that's another
Yeah, that'd be
curiosity about the
interesting
city of
to-
Naples. Shout out to our Italian descendants and our Italian listening friends too.
Yeah. Dude, I love Italy and all foods from Italy.
Yeah,
it's great.
Yeah,
It's so
I'll tell you one
good.
thing. When I went to Italy, my greatest surprise it was to find out that every single restaurant was an Italian restaurant.
Oh, I love it.
Because here you have like Italian restaurant, and there's the
Actually, I
Chinese
kinda get what you're saying.
takeaway, and there's the Japanese sushi restaurant, and the Korean here.
Yeah.
In Italy, the only kind of food you can find there is Italian food. There's no place for sushi.
Yeah,
There's no place
okay.
for Asian food, Vietnamese,
Yeah.
Thai. They're just non-existent.
Because we are a bit of a melting pot here in Australia.
We're a melting pot here in Australia, but in Italy, and every single restaurant pretty much has the same menu.
Yeah.
From restaurant
wow.
to restaurant to restaurant to restaurant, the menu is always exactly the same. And the explanation that I've heard from it is that Italians are so in love with their own food that they haven't yet had the time to explore any other flavors.
Hey, well, you know what? Fair enough, because it tastes pretty good.
That's right.
It tastes pretty good.
When perfection has been reached, why go elsewhere?
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, Lebanese food is pretty good, man.
that is
Oh,
true.
Mexican food too. There's so many great and
That's
Indian food.
right.
Oh.
Indian.
I feel like, yeah, we're exposed to all these great cuisines here in Australia that we're like, oh, we could have any of them and they're all good. And that's the reality. They're all good. So if you were in that country, you'd just be like, oh, well, this is great. Why venture out? We've already got something that's so good, you know? So I can kind of understand it.
Yeah, but I love the preciousness of the Italians, and it's for that reason that I only buy made in Italy pasta and stuff now, because it doesn't affect my gut in any way. Whereas all of
Yeah.
we have.
Made in China.
That's
pasta
right. We have
is-
destroyed poor Durham wheat, and it is not good anymore.
Yeah.
But the Italians have refused to allow that to happen.
Yeah, good on them.
In their country,
Yeah, I
and
think
so I
quality-
import mine.
Quality is something that is very precious to Italians, I believe, is that they're very particular about having good quality stuff, which I appreciate.
Yes, absolutely. So shout out there. And this is the city we're praying for today. Napoli, which is a city of over a million people, for sure. We only pray for cities that are over 1 million people. And we're praying that the gospel can reach that town.
Yeah. All right, Skafy, I'm curious to know what your Bible study is on.
All right, we're going to be looking into the so we're 2 Kings, and we are going to open up a new chapter 5 now.
Okie dokie.
If you start reading for us verse 1, it is a story. Let me just give a little summary for people that are short on time, and I'll give you a summary so you can turn off the radio if you want, but if you want to keep listening and exploring the story, you're more than welcome to. Actually, my brother told that to me. He said, Joseph, when you're preaching, can you just give me the conclusion of your sermon first, and then I'll choose if I want to listen to it or not.
Oh, well,
So
is this worth my time or not?
Yeah, I think for busy people, that's the thing. So we're going to look at the story of Naaman. Naaman was a captain of the Syrian army, or the Aramean army. He had leprosy, and he went to Israel to heal from that leprosy by the prophet Elisha.
Yeah.
And the whole point at this story is that it's a story about faith. It's a story about God sometimes asks us to do some real simple things, and we look at them, they don't appear to be anything special, but the special thing about them was the fact that God said it.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
So that's the summary of the story here. It's a story about faith. It's a story about how God's word works and the results of that. So we're going to be starting in verse 1. Whenever you're ready there, my friend.
Okie dokie. It says, Now Naaman, commander of the army of the king of Syria, was a great and honorable man in the eyes of his master, because by him the Lord had given victory to Syria. He also was a mighty man of valor, but a leper. And the Syrians had gone out on raids and had brought back captive a young girl from the land of Israel. She waited on Naaman's wife. Then she said to her mistress, If only my master were with the prophet who is in Samaria, for he would heal him of his leprosy.
Can we pause here for a second? Because
Yeah.
we see, I love that little story of that little maid, that little girl that was waiting on Naaman's wife, and just the whole introduction here.
Yeah.
Number one, how was Naaman described here?
as like a very powerful guy.
Yes, but he said the Bible calls him a mighty man of valor,
Yeah.
or a valiant warrior, highly respected. All of that. I think that it's very interesting that in the Bible is complimenting here the character of a man
Yeah.
who is a complete pagan and who is the commander of the arch enemies of God's own people.
Yeah, actually, that's a really interesting
Isn't that
point.
an interesting
Yeah.
one?
Like, why is it the case that they're just kind of talking very highly of this guy?
Because I think that really God looks at each person individually, and they realize, hey, you know what? Even though he might belong to the enemy country, and even though he might be the person conducting raids against our own country, we have to recognize he's a mighty man of valor. He's a brilliant warrior.
Yeah, that's interesting. It kind of actually reminds me of how, like with the story of Daniel, initially Daniel is like the head guy to Nebuchadnezzar, but when the Babylonians are then taken captive by the Medes and Persians, or they're beaten, then Daniel is still, they like, hey, this guy's great. So they use him. Like when King Darius is around, Daniel's still the head guy for the king because they just recognize, wow, he's actually just he's a really great guy.
Yeah.
Which is, yeah, it's interesting. I like that.
And the other thing that calls my attention here was that little girl. What did you think about her saying to her mistress that, you know, she knew how to, she had a solution to Naaman's leprosy?
Yeah, I think it's pretty awesome. It's a pretty cool demonstration of someone's faith. Like they're not willing to not mention the fact that, oh, there's actually a way to help your master. And also it's cool that she's not like just completely disregarding. Like she knows, yes, Elisha has the ability here to heal Naaman, but she's not hiding that information from Naaman just because he's an enemy, you know, or just because he's not an Israelite.
I absolutely agree. I think that her example is absolutely incredible because she could be very, very easily saying, you know what, good for him that he's leprosy.
Yeah.
He went to my people. He destroyed our homes. He kidnapped me. Now he's, using me as a slave. You know what? This leprosy I see as a judgment from God, well deserved on his own life, and I wish that he continues like that until the last day of his life.
Yeah, she could have been really bitter about the whole thing.
She could have been really bitter. She could have been feeling, you know what, this is the repayment that he deserves.
Yeah.
For all the affliction, all the suffering that he has caused. But no, you know what? She's a missionary. And you say, you know what? I want my master and if God brought me to this place, perhaps it is that God wants me to tell them about his love.
Yeah.
And she says, hey, by the way, if you go to my prophet in my hometown in Samaria, you are going to, he can heal you.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And I think it's really interesting because, like, it could have been the case that she got taken captive and then she had that kind of victim mindset of like, woe is me. I've been taken captive and this is terrible. And I really don't like Naaman and I really don't like his wife. And this is all just bad. And now that, like you said, now that he's got leprosy, fair enough. Like, so he should have leprosy.
Yeah.
I'm not happy. And she could have had that victim mentality, but no, I actually really like your point because she had the mentality of being a missionary instead. Like, how is this situation, though it may be bad, how can it be used for God's glory? And I really, really like that. It's fully seems that she's like not at all in a victim mindset, but rather it's like whatever the opportunity is, there's good that can come from it. I think that's something that we can actually learn from.
Like, this is so mature spiritually from that little girl. Jesus said, love your enemies and pray for those who are persecuting you.
Yeah.
Do you want to see how that looks like in practice? Looks like this.
Yeah.
Not only wishing, but praying and asking with all humility, say, my master, if he could just see the prophet, if he could just hear the word of God, he would be healed from his leprosy.
Yeah.
And I want that for him. This is again, that idea of not rejoicing when your enemy falls,
Yeah.
not wishing ill to your enemy. On the contrary, wishing them life and working towards their life. Well, that little girl got all of that. Her parents taught her that.
Yeah.
And they all learned all of that from the good book, particularly from the book of Leviticus. The book of Leviticus in chapter 19 is where it says, hey, in Deuteronomy, do not rejoice when your enemy is falling, but
Yeah,
love your
there you
enemy as yourself.
You're listening to the Breakfast Show podcast on Faith FM. Positively different.
And it is time for the answer to our first quiz question, because I'm sure the people who are listening want to know, who was the disciple that Jesus loved? So, Producer Shell.
That was John.
Yes, John.
And that's
Little
in the
Johnny.
book of John.
It is in the book of John.
It's in the book of John.
You know what I think about that's funny about the book of John is, how there's the story of like Peter and John racing to the tomb of Jesus, and it's like they ran, but then one of them got there first. And John's like, yeah, I beat Peter.
Yes.
I beat him there.
And let it be known from all generations henceforth that I beat Peter on a foot race.
Yeah. And all of the other Gospels say one of the disciples cut off an ear at the Gethsemane story. John's like, it was Peter. Peter did it.
Peter. Someone did it. I'm not going to say names.
Yeah.
But his name starts with Peter.
The name starts with Peter.
Oh, that's awesome. So awesome.
All right.
What's the next question?
Our next is a fill in the blank. And
Okay.
I think this one's even easier than the last one. So
Oh,
this is probably our easiest one of the day.
okay.
Am I my brother's blank? Complained Cain. What is the missing word there from Genesis chapter 4? Am I my brother's blank? Complained Cain. We have two correct answers in the studio. Send in yours as well. 0491 064 669. Fill in this blank. Am I my brother's blank? Complained Cain.
Yeah, that's
There
a
you
very
go.
interesting story. One of my favorite. I love that story. Chapter 4 of the book of Genesis. If you do know the answer, text us here, 0491 064 669. Let's get back into the story of Naaman here, because
Okay.
we finished up the story where this little girl, this little maid who was serving Naaman's wife, she was an Israelite captive in Syria. And by the way, let me just, before we get in, do you know what's the difference between Syria and Assyria in the Bible? Because we see these two names.
Yeah, what's the difference?
Yeah, so
Geography.
yes, they are completely separate kingdoms.
Okay.
Assyria is in northern Iraq.
Okay.
Today, northern Iraq, that region, and whereas Nineveh and everything. Syria is Damascus, so it's in modern day state of Syria. Actually,
Okay.
in the Bible, the right name to call it is Aram, or Aram Damascus. If you read in your Hebrew Bible, it says the king of Aram. Some of the older translations, like the King James, they say king of Syria, because I think they're trying to look cool and use the name. But then it's a little bit confusing.
Yeah.
Because there's Syria, there's Assyria, who's who in the zoo.
Yeah, okay.
So
There you go.
the king of Aram,
Right.
which is in Damascus. Damascus was their main town, the main city.
Yeah, okay. There you go. That's interesting. I didn't actually know that. But now I do, which is very, very helpful.
Yeah.
All right. So where are we
Random
reading
facts
from?
with Skafy. Verse 4 here. We're going to read from verse 4 now, my friend.
Okay, it says, and Naaman went in and told his master, saying, thus and thus said the girl who is from the land of Israel. Then the king of Syria said, go now, and I will send a letter to the king of Israel. So he departed and took with him 10 talents of silver, 6,000 shekels of gold, and 10 changes of clothing.
Okay, let's just pause here for one moment.
Okay.
Leprosy in the Bible was a big thing.
Yeah.
Now, the leprosy of the Bible, it's not the leprosy that you and I are used to think about.
Okay. So it's a different
Elliot.
kind of leprosy.
No, it's not Hansen's disease.
Right.
Normally, when we talk about leprosy in our day and age, we talk about Hansen's disease, which is a very confronting disease. But historical records indicate that this disease, Hansen's disease, was not known in the ancient Near East region until around about 400 BC.
Right.
So that story here, but around the times of Jesus, it is possible, I believe, that some people would have had Hansen's disease, but until then, it was leprosy is a very blanket term for skin diseases.
Okay.
So it included things that we today call psoriasis,
Ah, okay.
for example,
Yeah.
among others, just like general skin irritations.
Yeah, okay.
Vitiligo was one of the things that we call vitiligo today, but it was also classified in the biblical times as leprosy.
Yeah, interesting. Wow, that's actually really interesting.
And in Israel, if you had leprosy, you needed to automatically exclude yourself from everyone until you were healed. Interestingly, is that was not the case. It was not a career ender necessarily for the Arameans,
Right.
because Naaman had it.
Yeah.
He did not hide it from his king, and he was still in charge. He still had his office.
Yeah, that's really interesting. So they weren't, as part of the Arameans or the Syrians, they weren't like excommunicated,
No.
I guess, if they had
No.
leprosy. There you go.
They had different ways to deal with it.
Yeah, fascinating.
Yeah.
Right.
So he went there and says, "Look, oh king, can I please go? This little girl said this," and probably they thought they tried everything. They tried every single solution that their ancient medicine could afford.
Yeah.
Nothing worked. So he's really going for some desperate situations now. Say, "Look,
Yeah.
my little maid said that there's a guy in Israel that can heal me. Can I please go and check it out?"
That's kind of interesting as well, because for Naaman to go to the king of Syria and say, "Look, allegedly, here's a solution to my skin problem." And the king, I'm assuming, is like, "Well, yeah, we want that fixed because you're our commander of the army. Like, you're one of our head honchos. We want you to be in good health." So for the king of Syria to be like, "Yeah, go to the enemy." Because that's what Naaman is saying.
Yeah.
Like, actually, the solution is with the enemy here. So can I go check this out? Which is like, if I was the king in that situation, and I'm then like, well, you're the head of my army, and I'm supposed to send you into the bad guys' territory.
Yeah, think about the humiliation it is. Like, oh, you're telling us that these inferior people, because
Yeah.
this is how they would see them in their own minds. They have the solution. They are able to fix a problem that we couldn't fix.
Yeah.
But you know what? They were very pragmatic here and said, "Oh, okay, if healing is in Israel, you go to Israel."
Yeah, but I'd also be thinking as the king, I'd be like, well, wouldn't they try and kill you? Because like you're the guy that just took them captive because you're the head of the army, and now you're saying you want to go back over there and ask for their help? Like that, to me, that'd be like, okay, like if you really want to, but I'd be concerned for your well-being. Like you might just die by going there, So I guess it is in this circumstance, it's a bit of a leap of faith.
It is
on
a leap
Naaman's
of faith.
part.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Absolutely.
it's interesting. But the king is like, no, go. I'll send a
Go
letter to the
and
king
actually
of Israel.
take some good gifts.
Yeah.
And the story between Israel and Syria or Aram, it is a very interesting story because they were periods where they were fighting each other, and there were periods that they have an uneasy peace around them. So
Yeah, okay.
they were okay, but just kind of we were at peace, but
Yeah.
we are always suspicious of each other.
Yeah, okay.
So look, let's take lots of gifts here. 10 talents of silver and 6,000 shekels of gold and 10 changes of clothes. We're talking about millions of dollars here.
Wow.
1 talent of silver is equivalent to about $100,000 in today's currency here.
Wow.
$150,000. It's a
Okay.
lot of money. This is 1 talent of silver at their time was about 20 years worth of wages.
Wow.
That's just on the silver. So just on the silver alone, 10,000, there's above $1 million. And then in the 6,000 shekels of gold,
That's heaps.
even more.
Yeah.
Plus 10 changes of clothes that would be very expensive and
Yeah.
beautiful and important clothes.
Yeah, wow. So he's bringing with him a lot as like, hey, don't shoot fire. Like, don't
Yeah.
shoot. I'm coming on good terms here. I've got a bunch of gifts for you. Just wondering if you can heal my leprosy.
Yeah.
That's all I want. Which, that's interesting. It's probably a smart decision, I'd say, on the part of the king of Syria, because if Naaman is going to go there empty-handed and be like, yeah, I just captured all you guys, but can you heal me real quick?
Yeah.
I doubt they'd be
Yeah.
like, yeah, sure thing. You
Yeah,
know,
I think they were
probably-
saying, look, let's bring something that they will really see that we're coming in peace.
Yeah.
We're coming, hey, we're coming in humility.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
So let's keep reading. Let's go on to verse 6.
Okay, it says, then he brought the letter to the king of Israel, which said, now be advised, when this letter comes to you, that I have sent Naaman my servant to you, that you may heal him of his leprosy. And it happened when the king of Israel read the letter that he tore his clothes and said, am I God to kill and make alive, that this man sends a man to me to heal him of his leprosy? Therefore, please consider and see how he seeks a quarrel with me. Interesting. So it was, when Elisha the man of God heard that the king of Israel had torn his clothes, that he sent to the king, saying, why have you torn your clothes? Please let him come to me, and he shall know that there is a prophet in Israel.
Yeah. So the king thought, hey, this is a trap.
Yeah.
This is an ambush. This is a false flag operation.
Yeah.
This man is coming here saying, for me, like, who am I? Impossible. He wants me to heal his commander of the army. So am I God? I cannot do this. So if I
Yeah.
say to him, I cannot do this, is he going to go back to his master and then the king of Aram is going to find fault with me?
Yeah. Yeah, true. It's like, wow, well, what, is this some kind of test? Like, you're asking me to do the impossible here of healing him of his leprosy. And what is it like? If I can't, which obviously I can't, I'm not God. So if I can't heal his leprosy, what are you going to do? Then like fight me again? Like that, it seems, I can understand as the king of Israel, I can understand this being like, what's going, you're just setting up an impossible task for me to fail at so that you can have another opportunity.
You can have an excuse
Yeah.
to come and...
Yeah, another excuse to come and just destroy me even more.
Yeah.
Which, I can understand why he'd be like, this is
To see
bad
that
news.
they had suspicions.
Yeah.
They'd never been in a... Even when they had peace, there was always this uneasy peace.
Yeah, interesting. And I feel like at that point, if I was the king of Israel, I'd be like, man, well, what good is all this gold and silver that you're bringing me if you're only going to come and destroy me again? You'll probably just take it back with you. Like, it would seem like a complete setup at this point. You'd be like, this is ridiculous. I'm just going to get smashed again. Why are you trying to fight me again, man? Like, you've already beaten me once.
But the good thing is that Elisha heard about the turmoil and heard about the crisis.
Yeah.
And he sent word to the king. He sent a messenger to the king saying, hey, why are you upset?
Yeah.
Tell him to come to me.
Yeah. Which is actually funny that the king didn't think to go, oh, well, hang on, how about Elisha? Let's see, maybe he's going to be able to do something here. But instead, the king was just kind of like, oh, no,
Just
the
freaking
whole
out.
responsibility is on me to try and fix Naaman, rather than thinking, oh, who else is there that might have the ability to heal Naaman? But it's good. It's so good that Elisha stepped in and was like, hey, chill. I'm here, man. Just bring him over to me. I think that's really cool. And then from the rest of the story, we'll see what happens, which is good news.
Yeah, and the king here, which was at this time, it was Jehoram, which was the son of Ahab.
Okay.
And Ahab had a little bit of a truce with the king of Damascus,
Right.
Aram. So, but again, an easy truth. And you can see that Jehoram is always the man. He's really good at. I think he would be a great person to analyze risks.
Yeah, okay.
But so these people, people who are really good into getting into a room and spotting everything that is wrong or everything that is dangerous or
Yeah.
anything that could go wrong in a situation.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't appreciate people like that. You know, because the Richard Hargreaves books is kind of like Mr. Impossible.
Yeah.
Or Mr. This is we can't do, or very pessimistic, I would say. But I came to kind of appreciate pessimistic people.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do, because pessimistic people would often point out risks that nobody else is really looking at.
Yeah, that's true, actually.
The problem in this case, so I came to value that. Say, okay, you have a good point. Well, let's mitigate that. Let's do something about it. In the case of Jehoram, he was one man to be looking at, hey, this is the problem. But instead of bringing his concerns to God, he would just stop at identifying them.
Yeah.
And we're going to pause the story here today. We're going to be analyzing, looking at that story further throughout this week, the story of Naaman.
Okay.
But I think this is another spiritual lesson from us here. We got one from the little maid, now one from the, freaking out king of Israel.
Yeah.
Which is, hey, it is actually okay to spot risks
Yeah.
and see problems in things. But don't let that to be the last word. Don't let that to be something that paralyzes you. Don't let that to be something that is going to the enemies of God is going to use you to take the motivation out of everybody around you. But instead, identify the risks and say, God, we're seeing a big risk here, and we're going to go forward in faith. But God, please help us.
Yeah.
This man comes with a need. We don't know if he's genuine or sincere or not. But Father God, if he is, help us to do something about it.
Yeah.
So
I like that.
cast your cares upon Jesus.
Yeah,
and he will look after you.
whatever concerns, you can identify them absolutely, but God is in control.
Bring
of the
them to the
concerns.
Lord.
Yeah, I love that point.
And let the peace of God rest in your heart. That is for if you struggle with that, if you struggle being a bit of a pessimistic person that is always seeing what can go wrong, it's okay as long as you're bringing your anxieties and your cares to the Lord.
You're listening to the Breakfast Show podcast on Faith FM. Positively different.
Now, Skafy, what happens if someone is born in the month of May, which is this month?
Look, so if you were born in the month of May, like my late father was born in May. Actually, yesterday would be his birthday, so we're celebrating that.
Wow.
His memory. But if you were born in May, like great people in the world who have been born in May, you get a special perk here from our studio, from the Breakfast Show, which is we will get you into a draw. And if your name gets taken, you can choose one of 5 amazing gifts. We have Bibles, board games, cookbooks, dinner with a host, or a cash voucher. Whatever you choose, it will be yours. The only thing you need to do is to let us know when you were born.
Yeah.
Text us to 0491 064 669. Tomorrow will be the day that we're going to draw the name from the hat.
So you got to get your name in now.
Today's
Get your
the day.
birthday in now. Today is the
is
second last
the
day
day.
of opportunity. Mm-hmm. You could send us in tomorrow if you really, really wanted to run it late. If you like, doing things
Push
at
the
last,
envelope.
Yeah, if you like doing things at the last minute, you can do it then. But I would suggest doing it now. Send us in your birthday, 0491 064 669, if you're born in the month of May.
So what did Cain complain? What was his phrase that he used in Genesis 4, verse 9? You guys got it correct. What did he say?
Am I my brother's keeper?
That's right. Am I my brother's keeper? And yes, he was.
Yes.
And he didn't do a very good job of
He
it.
did a terrible job. So bad, in fact, he died. That's how bad of a job he did.
Yeah. Such a sad
It actually is a sad. I don't know why I'm laughing. It's a sad story.
Sad story. And look, as if God didn't know what happened.
Yeah.
You should know better. And when God was asking you a question, every time that God asks us a question, it's a very interesting thing. God only asks us questions that he asks us questions that we know the answer for.
Yeah.
And we don't often want to respond
Yeah.
because of the implications of it, because we don't want to, because we're actually deceiving ourselves.
Yeah.
But the questions we ask God are very difficult questions. God, why this? Why that? Why this? Why that? When God asks us questions, they're actually very easy.
Yeah, there you go. This next song that we're going to be listening to is Brothers of the Heart. But before that, what are we expecting to talk about?
We are going to have Justin Lohman. He's going to be sharing with us about what happened in the world of news in the past week, including a recent attack by Iran to one nuclear power site in the UAE.
Wow.
And he's going to be talking about Trump's visit to China and, the updates on the ongoing war between Russia and Ukraine. We're also going to be talking about a grandfather that got $900 fine for just preaching John 3:16.
Thanks for being a part of the Faith FM family. Join our community on Facebook or get in touch at 1-800-FAITH-FM.